Yo, 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 welcome back to the SHU Program. Thanks for tuning in. Fellas, how y'all doing?
Doing good. Doing
Doing
good.
great. Doing great. Great. Can't complain. Cannot complain.
Yep. We had a great weekend on the beta. We'll definitely hop into that in a second. But
Here we go.
first and foremost, let's talk about your boy Ime Udoka. Let's talk about Ime for a minute.
Ime Udoka, boy. Let me tell you about the guy who was taking the biggest L of the year to end it off.
For those
This
who don't
guy.
know, I was just gonna give a little preface real quick. For those who don't know, Ime Udoka is/was the head coach of the Boston Celtics and is going through a lot of drama right now with a female staff or employee that he was caught having sexual relations with. But Marv, take it away, bro.
So this situation is very touchy. So I'm gonna try to very tread lightly on this. But basically, it has been allegedly spoken that Ime Udoka has been messing around with one of the VP's wives, which is also very scandalous because he's married to the one and only Nia Long himself. So the internet didn't really take too well to hearing this news, and also the sports arena didn't really take too well to hearing this news, and it was very, very kind of salacious in the media from people like Stephen A. Smith speaking on the situation, and also Matt Barnes, the Beige Avenger himself, speaking on the situation himself. And at first, it was great jokes. People were just wondering, oh man, how could one cheat on Nia Long? Like, how could you? And we all just kind of believe this very surface idea of what may have occurred. And then also with how the Boston Celtics handled it, they just suspended him for the entire season, which is one thing. But then when things started getting a little tricky, and you kind of got TMZ and all these other media outlets involved, and even Matt Barnes himself kind of retracted a statement, and even Stephen A. Smith retracted a statement saying that they spoke out of turn on this situation, is because apparently what has been already revealed to the public isn't everything, and what's actual facts that media outlets know but have not spoken on, it's apparently way worse than what we think. I don't, we've all talked about this just, casually. And I think the key word that has been used is that it was a consensual encounter, which, okay, that's one thing to be true, but apparently there's alleged elements of harassment now, and it's even things beyond that. I've also even read reports that, hey, this man may have impregnated someone, and there's more than one woman. So I don't really know, but this guy apparently is a menace. Like, really bad.
Yeah.
I think it's just a cleanup game right now with the Celtics and them basically playing keep away.
Well, they're gonna be keep away for a long time, especially when it comes to head coaching. I think Ime kind of set us back, the black community back, for sure. Because the Celtics is a. I mean, they ain't gonna say it, but I'm just saying, like, you first of all, you have one of the very few part of a very small list of coaches to ever have coached the Boston Celtics, which has a history of being one of the few teams in all sports to be like kind of pro-white, even though its best player in its franchise is a black player. But still, the opportunity that he was given, especially with a name like Ime Udoka, for a team like that, you don't squander those opportunities. You're supposed to take those and be a trailblazer and set the tone for other coaches to come in. To me, you kind of F that up. Now it gives a bad look on, possibly, other black leaders in coaching situations. Okay, we're giving them opportunities, and look what they're doing. Now, I'm not that, correlation doesn't equal causation, so I'm not going to say, for sure that's, all black coaches are for sure going to be set back. We won't never know that, but I just think that it's a bad look in the mind of the public. And as far as coaching goes, this dude, first year as a head coach, goes to the NBA Finals, and I actually had the Celtics winning the Finals. And I honestly, I still today think they were the better team. But
I mean, we know why you think that, so we can't really take that into consideration. But continue.
But anyway, they had a great team. And I just think Celtics were pretty much on their way. Now they're losing their head coach, so I think I would be correct in saying that the team now is in kind of disarray as we approach the season, as the season begins very soon.
Yeah. So. It was crazy. I saw Marv's tweet when he was talking about the alleged things that he did, and it's just like, bro, what were you? I don't understand. Like, I mean, obviously, men cheat, so this is not like something that we've never seen before. But it's just like Jay said, you've had this opportunity to coach the Boston Celtics. Boston is known as one of the racist cities in America, if not the most racist city in America. You as a black head coach, I believe he's of what, Nigerian descent? Is that what he is?
Yeah. He's Nigerian.
He's of Nigerian descent, getting the chance to coach the Boston Celtics and doing a great job, might I add.
Crazy good job.
All the way to the finals, going up against one of the best players of all time, top 15, top 10, whatever you want to say, going up against one of the best dynasties of all time in the Warriors. And, taking them pretty deep, getting the first, 2 out of the first 3 games. I mean, he was just setting the tone. Like, I thought that the Celtics were going to be here for a minute, and they might still be here, but it might not be with Ime. So, it's just crazy because, Nia Long, I don't know, everybody's heard about it and talked about it in the news, but
Debbie from Friday, bro.
All the rap songs, everybody talk about Nia Long, bro. Nia Long is just, in our community, especially, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. In our community, Nia Long is hell But it's just wild, bro. It's like you had a baddie, you had a 10-year-old son with her, and you up here doing this, man. And if the reports are true that he was sleeping with the VP's wife, that's just foul.
You bugging. Like, that's just foul. bugging.
Whether you black, white, whatever, it's just foul.
Crazy about this, right, is that you got caught because the dude overheard a convo his wife was having on the ring cam. That's so wild. You like what? Like, you bugging, you wilding, man.
Yeah,
you wilding. There is no. I can't support this dude, bro.
Let's talk about that, actually, Marv. Let's talk about that. The ring cam thing, actually. So it's alleged that the VP's wife, VP of Finance, right? VP of Finance wife was having this consensual relationship with Ime, and to the point where I think they separated at some point. But Ime, these allegations are making it appear as if Ime was stalking her,
right,
and was not letting the relationship go. And that's how it got caught on the ring cam, because apparently he was going to the house. Apparently, from what I think, that's what I'm understanding.
He made a phone call, and she got, I guess that it was caught on the camera, like the conversation.
Dude, I'm just, man.
That's crazy, man. That's
Insane, bro. Like, insane. Creepy. And my thing is, is that, like, but the thing is that everyone's just like, man, well, you got Nia Long, you got money, man. It boils down to power, man. A lot of these dudes, man, I keep saying that all the time, man. A lot of these athlete niggas, man, are weird, bro. I just keeping it straight up. Like, I mean, think about all the weird athlete dudes that you've seen, bro. You got Aaron Hernandez, you got Ray Caruth, you got what's the dude name? Darren Sharper. Like, all these weirdo dudes. I'm like, fam, what is? I don't understand the psychology behind this. I mean, yes, men cheat, but when you get into dudes cheating and then you stalking somebody, man, and then the thing is that's crazy that you doing all of this, like, nigga, nobody know who you are in Boston, bro. You took a team to the finals, bro, as your first year as head coach. You're not just some random simpleton walking around the street, dude. You're known. Like, damn, you feel what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, I think it's a bigger conversation though, and I'm not surprised. This is not, and I think Steve Nace said this too, is like, we know this happens all the time, especially with white people in positions of power in the NBA and NFL and any other sport for that matter. This hasn't anything to do with athletes. This is celebrity. This is, Hollywood, Hollywood is built off this. Hollywood is built off sex. We heard of the casting couch and stuff like that. It is the same thing goes with athletes. When you enter celebritydom, it's a whole new ball game. The problem that some of these people that have this celebrity are fortunate to have this celebrity, lucky to have this celebrity, is the fact that we live in the technology age. You can't just do anything that you want to do anymore. Eyes are around you. Eyes are around you all the time. You can't just do it. Back in the day, you could do anything that you wanted because it was usually just a news reporter writing something down that he happened to be around. It was somebody telling him something and writing it down. But now a lot of people have direct contact. So some of these people are just so brazen, the ego of them, to think that they can get away with it in this age. And as technology advances, it's going to get worse.
Oh, it's going to get crazy. It's going up outside, bro.
So
I mean, like you said. Oh, go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't understand the ego of thinking these people are going to get away what they get away with. That's it.
It's like you said, though. It's like back in the day, it was he say, she say. A reporter can say they saw you doing something. You can say I wasn't doing it. Bro, we got camera phones, man. There's surveillance cameras everywhere you go. You can't just go to a hotel with somebody. You can't just show up to someone's door and think that it's not being recorded. Like Marvin said with the Ring camera and stuff. Like, bro, like everyone sees everything that you're doing. So it's like you either got to be a master at cheating or a master at hiding stuff, or you just got to leave it alone, bro. It's not like I don't get it, especially when you're in a high profile position like that. Everybody's looking at you anyway. So it's just leave it alone, man. And you already got a good woman at home, and if the situation ain't good, man, you need to end it. Don't drag it on for however long it's been going on.
I don't like that. I don't like that narrative either. I know everybody be up here getting on here like, oh man, Nia Long's a great person. I'm like, I'm not married to you. I don't know anything. I don't know nothing about that narrative, bro. All I know is that, hey, this dude did this. I can't speak on Nia Long. Her name don't even need to even be brought up in any of these situations because it doesn't matter. She can be an absolute terrorist at the house. We ain't gonna know about it. If he ain't mentioned it, then that ain't nothing that got to do with me. All I know is that dude is moving foul. You up here putting pressure on the franchise that actually writes your check. You're making it very, very difficult to be as an example for possible aspiring black head coaches to come along after you, whether they want to be in Boston and coach at Boston or across the league. So it's just nasty. And also, bruh, let's just keep it a beam, bruh. Another reason why I hate this story so much is that, dog, because you did this stupid, idiotic bullshit, bro, you took the heat off of a freaking Suns owner that's out here calling people the N-word and on some sexual harassment stuff, wilding, and Brett Favre, who defrauded the Mississippi government, bruh, out of, what was that, $5 million in welfare bread to make a volleyball court or something like that?
Yep.
We're talking about who you put your dick in, bruh. Like, come on, dog. Like, what?
It's wild, man. Like you said, Robert Sarver, that's all we was talking about, like on Monday. And then Tuesday, the Ime Udoka stuff hit. And it was just like, well, everybody forgot
going
about
on since. Going on since. There hasn't been a hotter news story out since he did that.
Yeah. But yeah, man,
about what Ime did?
Wow. It's wild, bro. Like I said, bro, either leave it alone or move on, man. You can't be sitting up here doing that. Not at all, but especially not in the position that you're in, man. You just
making
it hard for people,
And the crazy thing about this too is that the Celtics organization been known about it, right? And they moved a little weird with this, so they suspended him, which is cool. Them suspending him is to basically keep him in place versus firing him, and then he can just bounce, and then he don't have to meet any recourse, right? And the thing that I noticed about that's very unique is that to keep him suspended, which means he's still on staff, right? Versus you letting him go and firing him means that y'all trying to take care of collateral damage. So what makes me wonder is that there's a lawsuit pending. Because you can't do nothing if you let him go because he ain't liable for that. Especially if it's an employee. The employee gonna go after the organization. They can go after Ime. What money Ime got? We don't know how much money out of his salary he got paid for. That comes to the Celtics, right?
Yeah.
So somebody got the Celtics backed into a corner. Has to be. If the person was trying to go directly after Ime, man, they would have fired him in a heartbeat, man, and got away from that so fast.
Well,
yeah, it wouldn't have been a question. It's the same thing as how think about this. The Celtics themselves are going after Ime. That's an organizational thing. The NBA is going after Robert Sarver because they just like, nah, we ain't tolerating that in the league at all, and we ain't even about to deal with that PR shitstorm that's gonna come from that. It's the same thing they did with what's the dude that owned the Clippers?
Don
Sterling. When that came out, man, the NBA was like, bro, if you don't get this nigga the hell up out of here, bro, like you bugging, you wilding out. And this dude, bro, we thought Don Sterling was tripping. This dude was this. You know how much you got to be tripping, whereas the league puts pressure on you to sell 2 franchises, bro, and put them on the market.
Well,
Crazy, dog.
I think that Donald Sterling, to be honest, was worse than Sarver, but I think Sterling set the tone. Donald Sterling set the tone for what's to happen in the case that, you know, something like this happened again, and I think Sarver is paying for that, which I have no problem with. But I want to say this though, I think the situation is a little bit more complicated with the Ime Udoka situation because it did come out as allegedly a consensual relationship. So the problem, while he is a dirtbag in the sense of morality, and you know you cheating on your fiance, and you this possible question of, you know, maybe abusing your power because you're in a leadership position for your organization that you work for. It was still a consensual relationship, and this is more of a situation of, okay, should you be doing this at work? Should you be having a relationship at work?
Hell no.
And this is
hell no.
And I think that's why this situation is more complicated. I think if it was a situation of sexual assault, we would be having a totally different.
I'm glad you said that because here's where things switch. They said, hey, harassment is the word that's thrown around, right? And that's where things change. Consent ain't forever, and it's not in perpetuity. A woman can take that back at any given time. That's where that harassment word came into play. So yeah, I don't know if he sexually assaulted anybody. We ain't got that information. But what we do know is that you had a consensual relationship with somebody that was on the staff, and you shouldn't have been doing that. And allegedly, this woman is accusing this same person, or whoever it is, this mystery person is accusing you of harassment. You already down bad. When you start saying the H word, bruh, that means you went past you went past go. You bugging out.
Right.
You already tweaking. Well, y'all messing around. And hey, y'all both wrong for that. Y'all shouldn't have been doing that on y'all partners and none of that. That's y'all personal issues. But where it get funky and where the Celtics got to step into play is when you start throwing that harassment thing out, because it's the organization's job to look out for people on the staff. And if a person feels that way, that's why the Celtics got involved and had to step up. If this was just dude up here knocking down somebody and people want to get mad and do all this and this and that, that's what they do. Because check this out. Glad that good old Matt Barnes talked about it. Do you think Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher lost their jobs when they was going at each other over Gloria Govan? No. They were still hooping, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, Derek Fisher was coaching more. But yeah. Matt Barnes was still hooping.
He still had his job, and they was doing what they was doing. That was all personal. This is where things get funky with Ime. The organization knew that he was messing with old girl. The organization ain't care until she threw a harassment, because that screams lawsuit and red tape and problems. If he was just knocking old girl down, you still a dirtbag, but at least we know you a dirtbag. The country ain't got to know you a dirtbag.
It's all alleged.
It's all alleged.
Yeah. We gotta make sure we ain't trying to get sued out here.
This is why things is moving a certain way in the media, and why this is such a big story is because it's like, if that word is going to be popped out within the headlines and the story, then what is the degree of everything that has occurred, and what do we need to look at? Because if that's the case, it's like, nah, bro, this ain't just a surface thing. This is deeper than that if you're going to say that. Because now people going to start wondering who, where, when, why, incidents, how did it occur, what did he do, and so forth. And we don't know that information, but hey, if the media is saying that and the Celtics sat him down for a year, pretty positive, man. This ain't something that is like what Matt Barnes said. He said, bro, this is deep.
Here's a question for y'all, real quick, EJ and Marv. So Here's the question. Should have, and this is talked about on Stephen A. and Malika Andrews and Stephen A. I should sent y'all that clip.
No, I saw it. I was gonna ask you about it because somebody put somebody in check mode real quick. But go ahead.
But I wanted to ask y'all: do y'all think that the Celtics organization should have revealed who the woman was?
No. Hell no.
Nah. And it just brings unwanted attention and messing up somebody's life for no reason.
Bingo.
I'll tell you this. Eventually, it's gonna come out later on. But for now, I would not do that to that woman. That's disrespectful
at all.
It's putting somebody out in the public light, and she got to deal with all these questions and all this stupid stuff when she's just trying to get, answers to what's going on, and then she's just trying to make sure that we see who Ime Udoka really is. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right.
We shouldn't put her out in public and let her, because you got the toxic men out there that's gonna go at her for no reason just to defend a man. You see what I'm saying?
It ain't even that. It's just toxic people in general, bro.
Yeah, toxic anybody, like you said. But so I wouldn't do that. Nah, that's disrespectful to her. So nah.
Hell no. I don't think that should occur at all. Period. Because the internet's a dangerous place, man. People don't understand that, man. So my thing is just like. It's way deeper than what we think. And then also here's another thing too. She's not completely out the wrong, and that's why she doesn't need to be revealed, because she cheated as well. So the public
allegedly
ain't gonna allegedly the public ain't gonna come at her like she's a victim. They gonna be like, well, you low-key foul too because you married and allegedly and blah 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 blah. And that's how that moved. And people get the DDoSing people and doxing folks and stuff like that, man. Like, it get real tricky when you do stuff like that, man. So I don't think the names need to be revealed at all, man. Like, I don't think that's fair, and that ain't got nothing to do, with her. Now, granted, depending on whatever position she has, do I think she probably got a feature in the NBA? We gonna see. I'm gonna probably say but with Ime.
To add on to what you were saying, Marv, some other rumors came out. We don't know if this is true or not, so I'm just gonna say allegedly. Allegedly, she was setting up travel arrangements to help Nia Long move to Boston when Ime got the job. So, like Marvin was saying, the public is not gonna let her off easy, because they're gonna say she fouled too, because she was not only cheating with Ime, but she was helping his fiance move and get travel arrangements to the games and moving to Boston as well.
Nasty.
So that's wild, man. Yep.
Yeah.
Nasty work. Nasty work, man.
Well, we'll see. We'll see as it continues. It'll come out at some point. We're gonna get all the details.
Yep.
Yeah. Real quick, fellas, before we hop on Modern Warfare. It looks like the hacker reportedly behind the GTA 6 leaks pled not guilty. How y'all feel about that?
He's an idiot. He's a stupid kid. London, from what I hear, doesn't really have very harsh laws against this. So that's business across the pond. I don't know. Now, the thing that's interesting is that I find it very intriguing that because where's Rockstar based, like originally?
Ooh, good question. I have to look that up.
Because my thing is technically, if it's in London, then I'm like, man,
I thought Australia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So my thing is that it depends on who's. The FBI is pressing charges against him because they feel like he's tied to not only this Rockstar business but that Uber business. But my thing is that if they're not based stateside, if they're based in New York, I'm surprised he ain't extradited. You feel what I'm saying? Because if you committed a cyber crime, even though you based in London, but it was on American soil, bruh, hey, bring your ass over here, boy. You sitting in American court. That's here. You get in American court, and we extraditing you. And then you allegedly was tampering with Uber. So in this whole cybercrime thing, so I don't know if it's an investigation that's led by British authorities, but I find it very bizarre to being that this is something that was compromised in America and leaked everywhere. And it's kind of just like, well, if it was done here and that's where the crime took place, man, then it's just like, well, why aren't, we charging you? Because I don't think, man, he just going to have just a hard time in British prison. That's just me.
Here's the other thing, too. I don't know if you guys heard. You guys are familiar with the app called Slack?
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, if for the listeners who are not familiar, Slack is like a workplace app to, it's like a text-based app to communicate with your coworkers and send information. It's usually like a secure server, pretty kind of thing. Well, apparently he didn't really technically hack Rockstar in the sense the sense that we understand. Apparently he contacted Slack help or whatever and requested that his password or username got he said he claimed that his password got lost or his username got lost or email got he couldn't remember the password, and they gave him some kind of whatever they did. They granted him access to the Rockstar Slack, and that's how he was able to download all those videos because it was posted on the Slack. This is the alleged thing that I read not too long ago, and I was like, damn, wow,
great.
So that's ridiculous.
He's in the youth detention center, so I guess he'll be there until they figure out what's going on with the court case, until the court case is ready to go. But it's wild. But I do want to say, for people who, like myself and others who were out there, the first thing we see that gameplay, and it didn't look, like what we're expecting it to look like. IGN did a cool thing where they did like a montage of all the games and how they looked like pre-alpha, and then what they ended up looking like when they came out, and the games look night and day. So for anybody worried about what this game is going to look like or how it's going to feel once you get it, it's going to look totally different from what you saw in that clip. So I still think we're in for a treat, and I don't think it'll be anything crazy to it's not going to hurt it. Like we said last time we spoke about it, I think this is just going to help Rockstar, so we should be good.
Yeah, right. A lot of devs actually got on Twitter and actually were posting their before and after, like in solidarity with Rockstar, letting everybody know like this, what you're seeing is nothing new. This is how it is, Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yep.
Crazy.
All right, fellas. Well, let's hop into the main topic of the day. It's Modern Warfare 2 beta.
Yes, sir.
Jay, I'm gonna go to you first, Jay. Give me your thoughts, man, on just the modes we played, how you think it felt to you, how the graphics look, just how did you feel overall about the product?
Overall, man, I'm very excited. I think I was kind of well, it's coming out, Modern Warfare 2. I'm effing excited. I'm just gonna say that booting it up for the first time. Let me say this first. The user interface needs some work. Please do not let this be the final user interface.
Man, I tell you.
It is. What you gonna say, EJ?
No, I was gonna let you talk, but I was just gonna say I'm probably about to agree with everything you say, man. That UI was terrible.
Yeah,
garbage.
It's very clunky. It's too complicated to just add a friend to the party. I have to go through all these different options just to go add a friend. It needs to be. They need to kind of fix that. You have a lot of time, and the game doesn't come out till late October, so there's enough time to fix the user interface. Like for example, too, like I would try to go customize my weapon, and at one point I kept making the mistake of resetting my customization, my loadout. And I was starting to get frustrated because I'm like, dude, why am I making this mistake? And it's just the way the way it is, the way it's set up, the way the buttons are placed and everything. So that was stupid. Booting into my first game, it definitely felt different. I felt a little bit more heaviness when I'm running. The graphics have improved, not by a major stone, but they have improved. I am seeing the difference. The gun feels great. The vibration, we're playing on Xbox, I don't have the haptic feedback. So I'm also playing with the Elite. I haven't tested it with the regular Xbox Series S controller, so I am testing it with the Elite 2 Series controller. So I don't know if it's that, but it felt really good playing with it. It felt like I'm actually holding a gun in my hand at times, which I had the same feeling of 2019 as well. It just feels great. I like the diving feature too, holding B when you're running and diving across. I think that was pretty cool. I just the maps, the maps, the little maps that we did get, they were cool. There was one particular map I didn't like that much, but the maps felt really good. I really felt like I was like, you know, John Wick at times. You know, I was on a bus at one point and I was being ambushed. Oh yeah, I was being surrounded. You know, Black Hawk Down style. You know what I'm saying? And I was taking everybody out. You know, picked up another gun I had killed the dude on the bus, picked it up and started going ham again. It was just great. It was great moments. It feels really good. I will say that I had to get kind of an understanding on the perk system. The perk system is one of the biggest things that has changed in this one. Let me pull up my notes real quick because I wrote this down. I don't know if you guys noticed, but instead of picking your perks, there's a new perk system called the perk package. And basically what you do is it's similar to like creating a loadout, but you're creating a loadout for your perks. So you start off with 2 base perks in a game, and then over the course of time in the game, so for example, for every 4 minutes you're in the game, you're in a match, you get 2 bonus perks. Then every 8 minutes you get ultimate perks, and they can increase faster. It doesn't have to necessarily be 4 minutes or 8 minutes before you get these bonus perks. But if you're playing really good and your gamer score in the game is increasing, and that speed, it'll speed it up how fast you get it. So for example, there were certain times where I was playing and then I was getting that there's one perk called Fast Hands, I believe, if I remember correctly. It's called Fast Hands. Yeah, so it allows you to switch out your gun between your primary and your secondary gun really fast. Then every now and then you would get dead silence. I know people are complaining. There's a lot of people complaining about the dead silence. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but dead silence is now it's part of the whole perk system now. So you'll randomly get it, or you'll get it on your specific perk package, and people are complaining because they want to be able to choose their choose dead silence or whatever. It's just this whole kind of thing that people are having issues with. I like it. I think it brings some kind of something different to the game. That way people aren't abusing stuff. Real quick, the 2 of the modes that I was impressed with was Invasion and Ground War. Pretty much stole that from Battlefield 2042, to be honest.
This guy.
I mean, pretty much did. Ground War was pretty cool. Ground War was basically objective based. It was basically a match type of 64 players on a map, and big giant war. Me, Riley, and EJ played. We were in a squadron, just going objective to objective and taking it over. We actually won that match. Actually, it was pretty cool. And it was pretty good. We was working together at times, trying to hold the fort down at times. The best feature I did enjoy about that, EJ can second this too, is that when you die, you can spawn right on your teammate.
Yes, bro. That was so fire.
Exactly. So you don't have to start all the way in the back, and then you got to catch up with, catch up with Marv or Riley. You ain't got to catch up with them. You just spawn right back on them, and y'all back to, taking on the objective, which I thought was really cool. And then they also bring vehicles in it, so vehicles have a bigger kind of purpose in this game now. It's way different than the previous Call of Duties. Now you're literally driving around in jeeps and tanks, similar to the Battlefield. Now it's really different. Invasion was pretty cool too. Invasion is essentially Ground War. The only difference is that it's 40 players, a 40-player match type, and there's AIs alongside human players. And basically, instead of taking over objective areas on a map, it's basically a big giant team deathmatch. So we were having a lot of fun with that too. So I'm impressed so far, man. I'm very excited on how Warzone. I think Warzone 2.0 is really going to be good now. I feel like there's a lot of. I feel like there's a lot of. Let me just say this before you start.
All right, bro.
I'm just going to say that this year does feel a little bit more strategic. Like for example, you have certain new gadgets like the what's it called again, Marv? The grenade that actually. Yeah, the drill charge where it can drive into the wall and explode. So it's supposed
super
to stop
OP.
people from. I was not having the best luck with that, to be honest, but yeah. So I can't second that one, but it's gonna take some. I guess it's gonna just take some getting used to. But what I was thinking about it though, I was like, you know what, the drill charge, it may not be working for me right now in multiplayer, but Warzone, That would be perfect. Oh my God.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey,
guy.
bro, think about that for a second, though, Jay, because I know me and Jay are veteran Warzone players. Can you imagine people trying to hide up in a room and wait for the circle to close, and you throw a drill charge in there and kill all of them?
Exactly.
Bro, it's gonna change the game, Jay. It's gonna change the game, bro.
Exactly. I like just the bomb drone. Just doing that. Sending the drone up in there and releasing the bomb. Yep. I remember when we tried to do that. We had to kind of break the game to do that before, you know.
Yo, when those bombs were dropping, I felt like I was in war for real, bro. Like it was like it was coming down, and it was smoke everywhere, bro, and it was like real. So, man, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna just say this last thing because I'm glad you said that, EJ. One of the things that really impressed me was the immersion.
Yep.
The bombs, you said it, you couldn't have said it best. The bombs dropping, you feel like you in fucking Iraq, Afghanistan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like you up in there. And I felt real immersed. Like, I'm over there. I literally gotta wait. I gotta wait by the wall. There was one moment. I don't know if y'all remember. There was one moment where a bomb dropped on the ground near me, and I saw the shockwave under my feet.
Yep.
And I was like, and when I saw the shockwave, I was like, I'm dead.
Yep, I was right by you, Jay. I was right by you. It's wild because it felt like we was in Terminator or some shit because the shit was coming down and the sky like turned like yellowish, and it was like, and I knew at that point I was like, we about to die. And then the same thing happened when the ship got ready to hit the ground. I saw the shockwave come up, and I was like, yeah, we done. So they have done a great job with this immersion and making you feel like you were actually there. I got to give them 100% credit on that for sure.
Right. So I'm excited. Y'all can take over.
Real quick before we go to Marv, because I know Marv gonna have a lot. So we're gonna get to Marv in a second. So I'm just gonna add on to what Jay said because Jay pretty much knocked on all the sentiments I already had for the game. So us having played the last two Call of Duties, we played Cold War, and then what was the last one? Vanguard. Those two games felt totally different from 2019. I remember when 2019 came out, we played it so much because that game was just so fire, and we would always go back and continue to play Warzone from that because Warzone felt like 2019. The multiplayer in Cold War was utter trash. Like, I played that maybe a handful of times. I probably could count on two hands how many times I actually played the multiplayer for Cold War. Vanguard I actually enjoyed, but a lot of people didn't. So it is what it is with that. But both of those games felt different than 2019. This game feels like 2019, but on steroids.
Yes.
So it's like all the good stuff that you had from 2019 when they revamped the system and they brought it back from them advanced war games that they were doing for a minute. This game is 2019 on steroids. You feel immersed. You feel like you're there. The guns feel weighty, like aiming and everything like that. Like, I know Riley was telling me at first that he was having an issue with sensitivity. My sensitivity, it took me a minute to kind of get used to, and I think I might tweak it a little bit more like once the actual game comes out. But I really didn't have too much of an issue, to be honest, for me at least, to be honest. Obviously it would take you a couple games to get into it for you to get, back to where you feel like you are actually back. But after a minute, we got into it, man. It just felt like it was meant to be, bro. It just felt real. Like, Call of Duty
this dude,
they back, bro. They back, man. I was trying to tell you, like, I will be the first person to tell you when Call of Duty comes out and it does not live up to par. And obviously, we think back to games way back when we were in college and when we were younger, with Black Ops and everything, and Black Ops 1, like, those games were obviously fire. And the original Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 2019, and Modern Warfare 2 this year, those feel like true Modern Warfare games. They've taken the best elements from the arcade-style shooter that they've had. They've gone and done what Jay said and take some elements from Battlefield and bringing it in and putting their Modern Warfare spin on it. And it's who's making this one again? I forget.
You already know. Infinity War. You already know.
Infinity War, exactly. Yeah, you can tell Infinity War is their best studio, and they just had to get Treyarch and they had to get Sledgehammer because they needed somebody else to carry the load in between Infinity War making the next game. So
exactly.
Yeah, man. It just I told Greg, and I think I was talking to you, Jay, and Cam, that these next two installments after Modern Warfare 2019 is going to be okay, but the next one we're waiting for is when Infinity War does their next one. And this is it, man. It's here. It's looking good. Now, don't get it twisted. Jay already brought it up. The UI is horrible. I'm not going to even, give them any slack on that. It's just really confusing. It's hard to get to certain stuff. Riley couldn't even find regular domination. He kept trying to take us into ground war, third person modes. Like, he couldn't even figure out where to go in the maps. And I feel it was really confusing. So the UI is pretty bad. The perk system is going to take some getting used to just to figure out how it works. But for the most part, man, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Had no issues with it. Thought it's a good segue, from their last game in 2019 to this one. And I'm looking forward to it, man. Warzone, I'm interested because it's like if they take what they're doing now and what we were just playing, and that is adapted to Warzone and the style that they're trying to go for. I don't see how it can fail. Obviously, it's a big money transaction thing with Warzone, trying to get people to buy stuff and all that, whatever. But as long as they can give us that new map that they got, as long as that map is fire and that they can continue to give updates, that's going to be the main thing going forward is, are we going to get updates to the map? Are we going to get a new map, going forward on different, whenever they throw out the next versions in 6 or 8 weeks, however they do it. That's just going to be the main thing is to see how it plays in Warzone and can they keep it updated. But for right now, man, I'm gonna give him an A on the beta. Obviously, there's some bugs with
that. A boy.
There's some bugs with like the gun system, trying to go in certain guns and try to update certain things. I had an issue with my visuals when I first logged on, trying to get the HDR calibration, which you'll see because it's a beta, obviously. So things that they'll have to work on and fix for the main game comes out. But I've been hearing a lot of negativity. A lot of people out there trying to like dog it. It's like for me, what I'm trying to figure out is now, after playing this and playing 2019, what do y'all want, bro? Because it's like you have Battlefield, you've had old Call of Duties, you've had the Call of Duties in between Infinity Wars games, and it's like they took off the bad stuff that we have from the last two games. They gave us 2019, but they upgraded it. They put the steroid injection in it. Obviously, every game is not going to be 1,100% what you want it to be. Like, there's going to be some things about a game that you like, okay, that could be a little bit better. But for the main part, this whole experience is fire. So my question to the people out there who are doubting it, what do you want? Because, it's like they say they want something, they get that, but then they complain about something else. So it's just like, for me, I just need to know what they want. But other than that, Marvin, kick it over to you. A for effort. Continue. If the game comes out like this, we're gonna be good this year. So I'm good.
Agreed.
Here we go. All right, man. Y'all know me. Out of everybody in here, man, I'm probably like the long-standing Call of Duty veteran out of this piece. Now, what I will say, Modern Warfare 2 from the surface down looks good, functions and plays well. But I think the gameplay mechanics and what they're trying to do to reinvent the wheel a little much is what, I think I have pushback on. Like, you can kind of tell they just tried to just throw a wrench in the game to try to make it different versus, like, figuring out some new way to make it different. Like, it didn't really move anything forward. Like, I think so far as the gameplay, how the guns work, and etc. for the most part, it functions very well. I think the thing is them taking out slide canceling kind of makes traversing the map a little bit different. Another thing as well is that, like, so far as the perk systems go, making Dead Silence be a field order, and then not only that, Dead Silence and how they spawn perks and or the field orders and the kill streaks and score streaks, that's a huge issue. If I earn Dead Silence, right, and I'm chilling, I'm having to take out a radio as an animation and then press a button to activate Dead Silence. And then here's another crazy fact that I don't know if you guys know. You can hear people when they activate Dead Silence, right?
No, I didn't know that.
It sounds like a microwave. So if you're ever running around in the beta and you heard like this random ringing noise, that was somebody activating Dead Silence, and you can literally turn around and shoot the hell out of them and keep pushing. Wow. Crazy, right? Stupid. Footsteps. Dog, why am I hearing where people are running and they're across the map? I don't even have a headset and I can hear it. And this is off a TV bar. Sound bar. They have to
do it. It wasn't that drastic, bro. It wasn't that drastic.
Nah, it was pretty bad. I'm telling you, it was pretty bad. And how I know it was bad is because I was giving y'all call points like, hey, y'all know they above us and now they're behind us and this and that. Like, you can hear people very, very clear in this. And that's what kind of spawned or made people play very slowly. And that's why you kind of have like a little bit more emphasis on a campish play style. And like people feeling like they're just getting shot out of nowhere, but they're not finding anybody because people are sitting in place, which is something, in my opinion, whereas I don't mind a slower play style, but you need a mix of everybody's play style. You need people to run around the map and rush, but you also need campers. You also need people who are a little bit more strategic, to keep the flow of play more interesting and to make, players have to adapt to certain environments. So that's that. The gunsmith. Love the concept of the gunsmith. I think it's very dope. The problem that I have with the gunsmith is why am I have to do algebraic equations in order to unlock a gun? Why am I having to take this assault rifle, level it up 3 levels, then go over here and play with this other gun I don't want to play with, level it up 5 levels just to unlock the SMG that I want, and then come to find out with just the SMG, that has 0 to do with the attachments that I got to unlock for the SMG. So I got to play with the shotgun in order to be able to get a basic red dot sight in order to put it on the SMG and to be able, that's too complicated, man. If you're going to make the progression tree on the gunsmith make sense, make it make sense. I shouldn't have to run around playing with an LMG to unlock a pistol. That doesn't make any sense. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It just, that doesn't make any sense. It makes, because here's the thing about Call of Duty that I don't like, and this is where I have to ride with Jay on this as well, is that if you're gonna make a Battlefield-esque type game and you want to make things complicated, don't let it be Call of Duty. Call of Duty has never been that complicated. It never was meant to be complicated. It's an arcade shooter. It's not a military simulator. It's not a mil sim. You got people running around and bunny hopping and firing an assault rifle at the same time and killing 2 people. You can't do that in a military simulator because humans don't move that way. So them trying to insert these realistic elements to a game that isn't meant to be realistic at all is very bizarre to me. So it's just kind of like looking at how things play with TDM and how they have these maps set up. It's just super annoying, man. It's super annoying. The perk animation system I don't like. The perk packages in general, I don't like the perk packages at all. Let people choose it. If you really want just to keep it a bean, bro, make the perk system be like how it was in olden days with Black Ops 1. You have a regular perk, you play with it to upgrade it to being pro, and you make the perks balance themselves out. So if somebody had Ghost was cool, but the thing is that Ghost only worked if you ran around. The minute you started camping and you fired a gun, people saw you on the radar. Period. Make that be that way versus Ghost now. And we're going to bring it to this other element. The mini-map is absolutely pointless. If people are firing guns, why aren't they showing it up on the mini-map? Isn't that the incentive of having the suppressor? Right? You fire a suppressor, you don't show up on the mini-map when you fire. Now it doesn't matter. So why would I take the damage nerf on my gun by putting a suppressor on it because I don't want to be heard by people turning around and seeing me versus dude, I'm not showing up on the mini map anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to basically just have a loud gun and shoot whoever I want and keep it pushing. It's not going to make a difference. You're going to hear my footsteps coming. You're going to hear my gun go off. So why does it matter?
That's a valid concern. That is a valid concern. I did
take the mini map back to what it used to be. It's pointless.
I agree with that. I agree.
It's pointless, dude. It is pointless. It's stupid. And honestly, what it ends up promoting is UAV spam and counter UAV spam. You have 7 people. Too, yeah. And then also another thing that I don't know if you all notice is because, like I say, I'm an anal Call of Duty dude, right? The reason why UAV spam is not good, right, is because basically the game is going to be anchored to the team that is able to have a player get 3 kills first to spam in UAV, and then that basically begins the spamming. So if the first person gets a UAV and it reveals other people's locations, it makes his teammates easier to be able to pick up more kills quicker to get a UAV and to spam you with it. So think about that. Then also, if they're really strategic, think about this. What if one person got a UAV, then the next person got a counter UAV? So you can't even do nothing. So they can see you, and you can't even see the mini-map.
Let me just say this, Marv.
Everybody else spams UAV, so they consistently throughout the whole game can see you, but you can't see nothing.
Let me interject real quick, Marv. I want to add on to what you were saying. I 100% agree with you. I think that's a very serious concern, and I hope they fix that for the full release. I'm hoping that's just a beta thing. But I did notice that was a problem because there was points on the map where really I couldn't find anybody, and the only way I could figure out where the enemy was looking in the opposite area where all the team was. So wherever the team was on the map, I went to the opposite area. That was usually where the majority of the enemies were. And I was like, why isn't there any way for me? Well, like, why are they not appearing on the map unless I use a UAV? So exactly. It's definitely no. I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree.
Exactly. And then the thing is that
for a second. Let me step in real quick, Marv. So
yeah,
I had an issue where I did feel what y'all were talking about on one map, but on another map, the first one we played, where it was kind of like the art museum thing at the bottom, and it had like the wide open courtyard area. I saw people pop up and they were shooting their guns on that map. So I don't know if that's something that just depends on what map you're playing on. Depends on if the Call of Duty is just going through an issue with the beta or whatever. But I did see people show up when they were shooting their guns. So I don't know if it's a thing where it just doesn't work sometimes right now because it's in beta, but it was in the game. So I'll just say that and let y'all continue.
Yeah, I saw that too. But I'm not sure how consistent it is. So I wonder if it's
not consistent. I think it's about game modes. And if I'm playing TDM and it's deathmatch, why is that not an option here? But in domination, it is. The objective in domination isn't to kill players; it's to play the objective. So it's stupid. Then another thing too, search and destroy. When they come out with that, if that's going to be the same thing, it's like, bruh, it doesn't make for fun gameplay, and you're taking elements that are classic to Call of Duty that has been apparent in every Call of Duty ever made, and then you're just like, nope, we just gonna take the dots out. What's the point of the mini-map, bro? Then here's another thing about that too. If you don't put the red dots on there, how do I know where people are spawning? Because think about this, there's two styles of spawn systems. You got the spawn system, which is basically what you call team spawning, where you spawn on top of your team, right? Or you just have spawn points on a map and then they flip, which is what I prefer. Because I'm like, check this out. Say, for instance, you get killed and you basically team spawn somewhere, right? Where your team was, or it may be like one or two people back where the spawn was, but the rest of the team is elsewhere. What ends up happening? The enemies know where y'all are and they just gonna spawn kill you. Versus if the spawns flip, how that works is, say for instance, you push into the enemy spawn, that's gonna flip now. So your people are gonna spawn there versus the enemy spawning there. It makes for more fairer gameplay. They just gonna spawn on the other side and you gotta turn around and pivot, which is fair. Versus, hey, you just appear and the next thing's like, bro, I got my head blown off out of nowhere. How? Because you team spawning. That makes sense for ground war. But everywhere else, I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like, they need to split the spawns and put the spawns in better position. So it's like stuff that ruins game modes. Now, the whole thing, Warzone, I saw Warzone being played, by streamers and stuff of that nature. I'm going to just be honest with you. People aren't going to like Warzone. If they keep Warzone the same way, they're going to hate it. It's not going to be well received. I'm going to tell you that right now, it's not. It's not, because you'll know if this Warzone plays more like versus old classic Warzone is what people are used to. This Warzone plays like PUBG. It doesn't play like a Call of Duty Warzone, and that's what Call of Duty Warzone is known for. How are you gonna have a Warzone, and the main key factor that made you stand out as a battle royale is that you enable people to play other game modes outside of Warzone, and they earn perks, they earn attachments, skins, and all of that, and they can move it into Warzone. They're not doing it this time around. They're taking loadouts out, apparently. If they don't add loadouts in there, bro, it's a wrap on that, bro. People play Warzone, why? Because they want to play with the guns that they actually earned. Not to be like, oh, I got to run around the map and figure out where an SMG is or a good weapon so I can kill people quicker. That's not why they play Warzone.
Well, we did have loadouts in the beta. There was loadouts in the beta. So you
had, but no, check this out though. You have to buy loadouts. It wasn't just a loadout drop. That's a different thing. And then the prices of them are expensive. So check this out. In the Warzone beta, what it was like is basically you get spawned in and you have to choose what guns you keep and what you pick up off the ground. So that's one thing. So it's not like you just scroll over something and you just automatically pick it up. That's one. Two, you don't spawn in. You spawn in with only 2 plates. Then you have to find an armor satchel to earn 3 plates. And then check this out. When you get the armor satchel, you don't have 3 plates. You got to find the plate in order to fill in the slot that you get from getting the armor satchel. So that's that. Another thing too, you only have a set amount of armor plates you can carry. And guess what? Those also are in the same slots that weapons are held. So say for somebody breaks your armor, you need plates. Nigga, you got to figure out if you're going to give up a pistol or an assault rifle in order to be able to keep the 2 plates that you need to put on your body and then go back and pick up the 2 guns to keep it moving. That's not how Warzone is played. You'll end up, if you're going to keep it traditional with Warzone, you'll get melted and die before you can pick up a gun to even retaliate. It doesn't work like that. It's stupid. If you're going to make a play like PUBG, if you want to do that, there's a lot of mimicry going on in this Call of Duty right now.
So where did you find this information from? Because the Warzone beta wasn't included in this beta, right?
It wasn't included in this beta, but the streamers who went to Call of Duty next streamed Warzone, and they talked about it from the jump. So that's what I'm seeing. So this one, I'm just like, bro, this is what Warzone gonna be, man. They about to get cooked, dog. And you might as well just be like, everybody gonna keep playing Warzone 1. They're not gonna move over to 2. There's no incentive. Check this out. You know how you get your loadout guns in Warzone 2?
Mm-hmm.
Check this out.
Well, Warzone 1, yeah, but not Warzone 2, yeah.
Fine in Warzone 1, but that gives you the drop. Warzone 2, you gotta buy the guns. You gotta buy the attachments for it. So you basically gotta build out your loadout in Warzone 2 on the go. You get a drop and it's like, oh man, the gun that I worked hard as fuck for in the regular mode, grinded for it, and made it the exact way that I wanted. I gotta now go to the freaking buy shop and buy every piece of that loadout to make what I want. That takes up too much time. You will die before you even make the gun. You'll get killed right there at the buy station.
Is there any good to this? Good to that? Because
no, it's not even good because you gotta understand, man. Call of Duty players, they are right. They're one track minded, bruh. People love Warzone because of the element of the loadout system. That is what made anybody and everybody hop in Warzone for free. Because you know what? Dang, bruh. Multiplayer already sucks because of skill-based matchmaking, right? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over here to Warzone, and it's just a free-for-all. So it's basically anybody can win this, and it's a strategy to it. But at the same time, it's like, hey, whose loadout is better? And that's what I'm playing. I'm playing the meta, and I'm playing actual hand skill. Not,
but here's my thing. This is, and you said the issues that I think that's probably what Infinity Ward is maybe trying to address. Is number one is the meta. Getting rid of the whole meta. Instead of everybody jumping onto one weapon because YouTube and the streamers are telling them to jump on this one weapon and other weapons aren't being used, it changes the game. The other one is strategy. It brings more strategy into Warzone now. Now it's not just using the meta weapons to take out everybody. Now you gotta actually be smart. And that's what actually drew me to Warzone in the beginning, was because it was the strategy aspect of it. But then, now we had to keep up with with the best guns in the game.
Call of Duty doesn't have strategy. You wanna know why it doesn't have strategy? Because Call of Duty doesn't make, honestly, basically a universal gun balance system. It doesn't.
That's not true
at all.
That's not true.
Where's the gun balance in this game?
Wait. But that's your argument. You're saying that gun balance is the defining factor of a strategy whether Call of Duty has a strategy or not. Maybe in multiplayer you can say that. In Warzone, especially in Warzone, the Warzone 1, we move with strategy. You move with strategy, but that doesn't win gunfights. Yes, it did. It did.
We
were damn. If somebody has a better gun than you in Warzone, they can kill you even though you got the drop on them. We've seen this universally across the board on YouTube.
Listen, we were top 4% in the world. I'm gonna repeat that for you again. Top 4% in the world in Warzone because of strategy. And I had this kind of and EJ knows this. EJ knows this. Marv, you don't know this because I don't think you played that many Warzone matches with us. But we've had guys come in our party several times trying to do the running and the gun and shit. Haven't we, EJ? And they always they're always like, oh well, we got to go out there and shoot first, or are we going to be the ones?
No, you don't do that in Warzone. I'm not ignoring that fact about strategy, but what I'm saying is that when it comes, a big element of Warzone and why people play Warzone is about gun on gun fights. That's what it is. You have all the strategy in the world, but at the end of the day, you still have to kill someone to win Warzone.
And we
gotta be the last man standing.
I agree, but
in order to get there, bro, you're not going to be able to get there with weak ass guns when somebody has the best fucking gun that they made through the meta to melt you with.
So listen, here's the thing. No, Jay, hold on real quick. Here's the thing. Marvin is making your argument for you. They're taking out loadouts because they're trying to avoid that specific thing. They want to make it harder on people to find certain things, to do certain things, to make it more balanced. Now, I'm not going to say
but here's
what
the
they're doing is right. I'm not trying to back them up and say what they're doing is right.
I'm going to tell you why it's not right.
When I hear that, I think, okay, I want my loadouts too. But I'm going to tell you this. Warzone 2 is not going to fail. You want to know why? They're going to do exactly what they did in the last Warzone. When Warzone 2 dropped that new map. No, listen. When Warzone 2 dropped that new Caldera map, they told everybody, they said, you can't use your old guns. You can only use the new guns that come in Vanguard. Only new guns only. It was out for 2 weeks, Marv. People were dropping it. They were complaining. They were talking about it. We want the old guns. We want this. We want to be able to bring these old loadouts that we got. We've already spent all this money, blah, blah, blah. What did they do? New mode. You can do all the guns back from Modern Warfare 2019 till now. And they kept the other mode where they had it to where it was only Vanguard guns only. So I'm telling you this right now, for anybody who's worried and listening to this thing and listening to what Marvin is saying, and they're like, oh, it's going to be terrible. It's going to come out with the mode that they wanted to right now. If people complain enough, they will drop another mode where they will I'm telling you they're going to do it because they're not going to let Warzone 2 fail. So
we're going to see.
It is what it is. They happened on the last one. It's going to happen on this one. It happened in 2019 all the way through Vanguard. They made changes specifically for people who were complaining. So you could go in, you could play the mode that you want.
We are going to see, because I personally, this Warzone setup, from what I've seen on YouTube from creators playing it, since we didn't get access to that during the beta, it looks very PUBG-like, which is cool if people embrace it. But we already know how Activision and the Call of Duty communities ran. It's about money. And when people don't spend money, what is Activision quick to do? Either scrap something or they're going to make changes to basically try to recoup back on the people that they pissed off in order to get them to play. Now, the thing is that, okay, there is 3 main things that they're going to have to change. They're going to have to put loadouts in there because people do not want to play Modern Warfare 2 in skill-based matchmaking and just be getting their faces smacked and not being able to have fun. And then on top of that, you're not giving me an incentive to play this part of the game in order to be able to go over to Warzone where I really want to have fun at. And that's where y'all making y'all most money at anyway. You got to bring loadouts back. 2, that stupid ass satchel system. Take that bullshit out, bro. Just get back to the regular form of what you had in Warzone 1. Fam, you got 3 armor slots, and then you pick up a satchel to carry more plates. Make it simple and easy. I don't need to sit back and be like, okay, you already got the shitty UI, so now I got to figure out, hey man, how do I pick up something and then drop something and all? Like, cut that out. It's too time consuming. Because while I'm up here trying to figure that out, you know what's going to end up happening? Somebody going to end up running a elephant stomping asses through a door and blowing my head off and keeping it pushing. And I'm going to go through that every game. Then here's another thing that they're going to have to do. They're going to have to change gun prices. If you're going to not have loadouts, and this is the route you want to do where we have to buy all the guns, why am I having to spend $120,000 in order to get an SMG? Because where's the 120 at on the field? You didn't have plentiful money drops for people to pick up while they were out there. So what was going to happen? Everybody just running around with pistols and fists and beating up people?
So let me say
this. You're going to have to make the game. Warzone is liked because it's action packed. The only thing I like about this new Warzone literally is the fact that they're going to have a new map and they're splitting circles. That's it. So you get a different strategy in that point of view. But other than that, I'm like, bro, this shit plays slow as hell, but yet the game flow of Warzone and even the progression of the circle is fast. So how is that going to balance out in the end?
All I'm going to say is that I agree with EJ on the aspect is I'm not saying that this is a good or a bad thing. My question to you, Mar, was basically just saying, like, what if this is actually a good thing? And I think we just got to see how it comes out, because first of all, that information is coming from streamers, and we already know that the streamers and the popular YouTubers that play the game and have big followings, they want the game catered to them in a specific way. We've seen this in 2K. You know,
we've definitely seen it in 2K. Yeah.
Right. And to where they've messed the games up for us. So I can't really. Wow, it's great. I didn't know the things that you brought up today. I really didn't know that. So that's great to know. But I really need to experience it for myself. That's why I'm curious whether it could be a good thing or whether it may be a bad thing.
It can be good, in my opinion, if they balance it and tweak it out. My aim for Warzone, if I'm a developer, and what I hope to see, is to make it fun and casual for everyone. The reason why I don't super ride with streamers is because, man, streamers just be playing just to get clicks, and they want to feed their gameplay into views. And then you got the competitive side of things, where these people get paid to compete to play in Warzone. So they need a completely different style of Warzone to be played. So me personally, I feel like this, and I view this and what they need to bring back on both regular multiplayer and also Warzone. Make a ranked playlist. Take those people out.
That's true.
Ime is over here, and he's 17 years old and just wants to play Call of Duty with his homies, bro. This nigga is not trying to sweat and be the greatest Call of Duty gamer ever. Put him on a ranked playlist and have him play against the best of the world, bro. I don't want to have to worry about being in lobby and I gotta sweat extra hard just to feel like I even got a fighting chance to compete and to just survive and have fun. That's pointless. Same thing in Warzone, bro. So I say this: the way that they got it set up now, I think that's absolutely optimal for competitive gameplay, because it puts everybody on a level playing field. But for us casual gamers, my G, I play this game day in and day out to level up my guns, to get loadouts built, and I want to see how they're going to play in Warzone. And the only difference between me and the next dude is whatever guns he has and his real-time strategy that he enacts in order to play the game. That's it. I just need gun-on-gun game, and if I can outsmart you, that's fair and clean. All you competitive niggas that want to be like, you know what, this is the best gun in the game, and I'm just going to do my variant and flip on it and blah, 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 blah for these clicks and views. I'm like, fam, do that over there and leave me out of it. That's the only way this is going to work. But that loadout, bruh, you can YouTube it after this, bruh. Go look at it. You're going to be like, fam, this doesn't even look and feel like Warzone. I don't even like Warzone 1. The reason why I ain't like Warzone 1 is because, like, if you're a brand new person going into Warzone and how they weighed so much on the meta, that was the issue with it. So you just basically meet 150 players with the same gun, and that's not really cool. That's why I say, like, just balance the guns out, but still keep it casual. Don't depend on meta too heavily. You know, they take all of that out and just be like, okay, well, if this gun just is maybe a little bit better, or this person can play with this better, like, balance the guns out. You can do that. It counters everything, bro. There's certain guns that just perform better than others, but I feel like guns across the board gonna have their pros and cons. It's just like, for instance, in the original Modern Warfare 2, the AK-47 was the strongest assault rifle, right, power-wise, but what did it have? Also one of the highest recoils in the game. That's what it was. That was the balance. The cheap gun that everybody used in the game was the ACR. It had 0 recoil, and the power on it was medium, so it didn't take that many shots to put somebody down. You feel me? It's those basic elements that they just need to keep in the game and just create better gameplay. But from what I've seen, dog, I'm gonna be real with you, dude. For this beta, for me personally, I'm giving this shit a 6 out of 10, dog. And if they don't improve it, bro, I'm not copying at all. At all. The only reason
how you gonna know? How you gonna know if you don't get it?
I can look and basically see YouTube reviews and see, hey, this is what's playing. Let me see if the perk system changed. Let me see if these guns are balanced out, because the creator's gonna get first dibs on it first. And if I don't see an improvement, y'all might get $70 from me. Why am I paying you all to play the same garbage that you all gave us in the beta? Improve.
Well, that's also Mark.
Or not. You wanna know what? I'm gonna go ahead and slide my black ass over to good old Warzone for the free and keep it pushing, because I'd much rather play for free than you up or take my money and still don't improve and make a better experience for me, which is super fair. So we gonna see how they rock out. They got a game that honestly has a ton of potential, bro. This has the qualifications of being one of the best Call of Duty just from a shell point of view ever made. But bruh, if they don't get this basic stuff fixed it is no reason anybody should play. I'm dead ass serious. They strict this game, bruh. If they literally just take this game back to an old mini map, make the perk system be balanced like Black Ops 1, make the gunsmith a little bit easier to understand, cut down footstep sounds, bring back ninja and dead silence as perks versus field orders, and make pro versions of perks, bruh, you literally have a perfect Call of Duty, dog. Dead ass serious. You have the best Call of Duty probably ever made. Easy, bruh.
I hear what you're saying.
I don't care about slide canceling, like that's cool, but dog, bro.
I'm not.
If everybody is forced to play the same way, that's not a good Call of Duty. If everybody has to camp, that's not a good Call of Duty. I support everybody's play style. I may not like the sporadic Russian niggas or the super campers or whatever, but I respect everybody playing the way that they want to play because that's what made Call of Duty different. I can run into a rusher and figure out the strategy on how I'm going to gun him down. I can figure out the camper and figure out how to kill campers. I can figure out the sniper that's going to post up in one position and, get a couple shots off and kill people, but I can drive him out of that position and put more pressure on to make him be a little bit more diverse on the field to play and have to move around and get out of his comfort zone to do better things. I respect that, man. I respect that. And only a few Call of Duties truly held that down. This one, I feel like they're trying to be too different versus like, bruh, go back to what made y'all great. Why change Warzone? Make a new map, make new guns, and keep things the same. It's really that simple. Ain't nobody asking for nothing crazy different about Warzone. If you want to make something crazy different, do something with the perks, the gun balancing, and just different elements of play on Warzone. That's it. You don't need nothing crazy. Listen to the consumer base. And that's why I'm giving the beta a 6 out of 10 because they didn't. Mad simple things that can change. Mad simple things that can change, bro.
There he has it. But let me just say this. Marvin gave us this long speech.
Soliloquy.
The soliloquy, and it seems like the two things he didn't like about the beta was footsteps and purchases. If footsteps and purchases can take you from a 10 to a 6,
and the mini map,
they ain't got a chance. Okay, the mini map is cool. Mini map is cool, but I like I said, to me, it worked and sometimes it didn't. That's things that they got to fix. Easily fix in my personal
bad,
opinion.
Bro. It's bad. If they fix the perk system, I can jump into an 8.
It's about shooting a dude you see in front of you. And you know what I had fun doing? Mowing them dudes down. So I'm going to play the game. I also too want to think too, because there are certain things that you said that you didn't like. And I'm going to step up for people who do like this, because I know that there are people out there like myself. What I complained about in the past on Call of Duty was I could never hear somebody coming up on me. Never. I never heard when somebody was walking up on me, ever. And for the first time ever when I'm playing this, I will agree with you to an extent that it might have been a little too loud. I think they can kind of tone it down just a bit. But with the headset that I got, and I'm going to give a shout out to Jay for the Xbox headset because this shit is fire. I knew where they were coming from and what direction they were coming from in the headset. So if a dude was directly behind me, I heard the door open, I heard footsteps, I heard exactly what the dude was. I turn around, boom. Dude coming from me on the left, I know a dude coming from on the left. I turn around, look to see if a dude was coming from on the left. If a dude was upstairs, I could look up. It's like the headset was telling me, like, bro, people upstairs running around, people over here. And then when I didn't want to run, I crouched, and it got a little more quiet. So my personal play style, and for people out there like myself, we don't have an issue with that. I personally don't have an issue with hearing footsteps and seeing people are coming.
I do, but so, I'll say this though, and this is
lower, that's fine. But I want to know where you're coming from. I don't want people to just run around all day long and I'm getting shot from all areas and I can't hear nobody, because in real war,
you can hear people,
but you can hear people to an extent.
But this is the thing, right?
So I am excited to happen.
And I feel you, EJ. But here's the thing about you, EJ. You're a casual player. And what does Call of Duty do due to a thing called skill-based matchmaking? It's going to pair you with better people the better that you do, so you levelize out. And this is what happens with people who are better in what they typically do, and why the footstep sounds are going to work at your detriment eventually. People do a thing since they've been doing since Modern Warfare 1 called sound whoring. If somebody has a better headset than you, it doesn't matter if you heard them or not. They got the upper hand on you because they can hear you from way before you can do that. That's like I told you all about the dead silence noise. Like, y'all didn't know that was a thing? The reason how it was a thing is because I heard it and I figured it out, and I was like, what's the point of this shit then? If I can hear this dude spawning and popping dead silence, what is the point of the field order, bro? The point is to make me quiet. And here's another fun fact about dead silence too. Do you know it doesn't go into effect right away?
No, I didn't know that.
When you pop it, it goes into effect about 2 steps after you use it. So not only do you have the initial noise that dead silence makes, you're still heard for the first milliseconds of you moving. And that's all it takes for you to get killed in this new Call of Duty, because why? The time to kill is quick. It doesn't balance out the way that we think it is. And that's the issue that I have. I'm all for footsteps being heard and all that jazz. Make it balanced though. And when you don't, it's going to force people to have to play a certain way because people want to get more kills and seem like they got the upper hand. So that's going to sway people to play in a centralized way, and it's not going to create diverse matches. And that's the issue. Warzone cuts that down because it's a battle royale, and you have to get the supplies first in order, in a sense, to be better equipped to survive. Multiplayer doesn't do that. So Warzone, you get a little bit of a better player experience because of how they balance things out. But what they do in Warzone, stripping people of that. So it's like, oh, great. Like, I actually like playing Warzone this way, but now you're making me do this, which this doesn't make any sense. So great.
I was going to say that, Marv, I agree with you on the sound horn thing. I knew it by a different term. I can't remember, but I never heard sound horn, but I know what you're talking about. I do think the sound horn could be a definite issue. I do agree with you on that point because, yeah, while I do have, me and EJ do have the those powerful headphones. So the footsteps were kind of loud, and even though personally I like that to hear them, I think the base game maps have to turn the sound down a little bit. But to be honest, when I think about it, just the devil's advocate, sound horning is going to be a thing no matter what, because all that's going to make other people do is turn their sound, turn their music off, and turn up the sound effects in the game, because that's where it comes from. Sound horn was a big thing in Apex and PUBG and previous Call of Duty. So, I mean, they would have to bring the sound effects down a lot. So, but I think the problem was it was just like too bassy in the point. Like it was almost like people were stomping, and yeah. So up here sound like
Savion Glover, man. I'm like, bro, what's going on?
So I think that's the thing. So maybe they, decrease that a little bit, but I think sound horn is just going to be a thing no matter what. And I had sound horning in Call of Duty 2019. So
for sure.
So it's going to be there. And in Warzone, we know it's there. We listen. You can hear the people's footsteps, but yeah, you can hear the people's footsteps coming.
Warzone's different. Warzone's different. It's cool. I understand that in Warzone. It makes sense. Warzone's fun because it's a battle royale. So I'm just kind of like, bruh, even if somebody heard you, how it is a battle royale and it's about people getting guns first, right? That's the balance. So if someone's loud and you're loud and you're running around with a pistol, that's on you for not taking the strategic point of trying to get a better weapon to better equip yourself to fight. Versus in multiplayer, I already load in with exactly what I want. So I don't have a defense against that. It's like, this is what it is. And it's basically the first man who fires, the first man who, it's basically who's going to get the drop on somebody easier, who's camping and whose site you run across and get gunned down, and are they accurate? That's really what it is.
We'll see. Well, we'll see when the final game comes out. So, overall, I would say I give it a B. For me, y'all gave y'all range. I'm not going to give it a range. I will give it a B. Pretty much enjoyed everything. I think the concerns that Marv brought up are significant. The sound issue has to change. The mini map needs to update. User interface needs to be improved. But yeah, the Warzone 2.0, that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
So we'll see. I'm with whatever is gonna stop people from trying to take advantage of other players and not use strategy and skill. So anything that can mix combat up a little bit and and people got to use their battlefield IQ, I'm with it. So
word. Another fun fact: there's already hackers and cheaters in Call of Duty already in the beta. So just heads up, just to let y'all know.
What'd you say? I'm sorry. What you
say? Already people cheating in
of course
Modern Warfare 2. So they don't have an anti-cheat.
Well, is it a demon where it's supposed to be the anti-cheat?
Yeah, and I'm just like, so if y'all aren't gonna prevent this, then it's like, all right, bro, y'all got it.
I think the question is, can they do it?
They better figure it out, because I'm about to be like, fam, you forgot all that nonsense, man, y'all had in the last Warzone game and whatnot, man, bro. Hang it up.
Yep. Last couple things, fellas, before we get out of here. What y'all think about the announcement today of Deadpool 3?
I have mixed feelings. To be honest.
Same.
I'm ready to see a new Wolverine. I love Hugh Jackman. Not saying that he is a terrible Wolverine. He's almost perfect Wolverine. Great Wolverine. He's just old, man. It's time to move on. I want to see new X-Men characters. But I will focus on what Ryan Reynolds said. Ryan Reynolds did say that, like in the trailer, or well, whatever the video was, he's like, do you want to play Wolverine one more time? So if this is, I don't know what the story is going to be about. There's nothing out there. But if it's one more time and it contributes to a story that leads further into the X-Men, that would be great. And we got this news as well as the news that Namor is confirmed to be a mutant. So we actually have mutants for sure coming in. Like we know Miss Marvel was confirmed to be a mutant. Now we got Namor is gonna stay true to his comic book roots, and he's gonna be a mutant. And now we got Wolverine coming in 2024. So we know mutants are on the way. We know the X-Men are on the way for sure.
Yeah. I was both. I think initially I was super excited. Obviously, great to have him come back again. So, like you said, Jay, as long as it makes sense within the story, I'm totally fine with it. My only worry, though, and like I said, I'm all for it, but my only slight worry is if he does a good job and the movie is well received and he does a good job as Wolverine again, will that diminish the next person coming in to play the role? You see what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So it has to make sense within the story of like, this is another universe. This isn't the same one or something like that. Something's gonna have to happen to where the casual fan understands that he is not Wolverine going forward again. So, yeah. But it's gonna be good to see. We've been waiting to see those two get back on screen since X-Men Wolverine Origins. So, I'm down for it. I'll definitely see it. So. Yeah.
What you think?
I agree with you, Jay. Like, I got mixed feelings because I'm like, fam, just hire a new Wolverine, dog. Like, I'm tired of seeing the same actors in Hollywood. You work in Hollywood, I'm tired of seeing these niggas, bro. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, but it's like, all right, bro. Like, y'all have to give us something new. Because I'm about to be like, you ain't about to get up on screen and get the wilding out, and we like, bro, I know you about a good 57. You know what I'm saying? It's the same debate that they have had about old boy becoming Hulk after Ed Norton did it, because they just like, yo, this nigga mad old. Like, it's cool, you good, but it's like, fam, like, bro, y'all gonna have to like find new actors, bro. Like, you're not gonna keep regurgitating the same people, bro. You have to figure it out, dog.
Another thing too that sucks for him is he had the perfect ending in his Wolverine career.
That's true.
Logan is not only, in my opinion, this is just for me, Logan is not only one of the best comic book films, it's just it's a great film, period.
Right.
The way that movie was shot, the way that they put it took comic book movies like that and The Dark Knight. Those two movies took comic book movies to a new level. And Hugh Jackman was magnificent in Logan. Honestly, he probably should have been nominated for an Academy Award, but even though that's not what happened. But it was just, he did a phenomenal performance, and the way the movie ended, like, that was the perfect way for him to go out. So, like I said, if you're bringing him back, man, the story better be fire, bro. That's all I'm saying. It better be fire. But it is good to have him back. Just make it a good transition into whoever the next person is, and let them stand on their own without having to be compared to you. So.
Right. I agree. I do want to touch on one thing before we go, because I do think this is important. The G4 layoffs.
Yeah.
We knew that was coming.
Yeah, we saw this a mile away. Yeah.
Yeah, like even when they tried to revive G4 and had the Black Okage go over there, I was just like, dog, I don't know what y'all doing that for, because who watching TV? Y'all didn't have a big YouTube presence. I never saw them in the gaming YouTube space. Like, oh man, like come tune in to blah 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 over here. Nah, they're trying to do that television stuff, and the public showed them, hey, TV's out. Y'all better figure out a way to stream.
Well, they're doing stream. They do stream and YouTube, but I just think the YouTube views aren't where they expected it to be. And
yeah, they was out. There's too much money. They were behind the curve. They missed the wave. G4 gaming YouTube should have been funneled all through G4. All of that should have been G4. All these young creators that built these channels, G4 should have been the instant sponsor for all of these people. But you want to know what's wrong with them? They was too busy trying to have television-made programming, which requires journalists and too many politics for people of what they want to be shown on screen. And they tried to recoup when they went down and then came back like, oh, you know what? We're going to tap into all the YouTube creators and we're going to get all the diverse heads and try to make it seem like we really care and to revive the channel. I'm just like, it's too late for that, because the gaming community, we ain't forget. The North remembers, bro. The North remembers, bro. Mad creators that we know that we followed on YouTube that was trying to be on G4 years ago, and they ain't happy. And then G4 magically pop out of nowhere and give them a bag, and now this was just like, well, you know, this bag over here ain't stopping my YouTube and Twitch bag, so I might as well just at least, you know, add a little edge to my resume and do some networking and kind of have some upper mobility. So I'm gonna go over here and do what I got to do, not lose my freedom and liberty, license out through G4 and do what I got to do over there, whatever program they got, and keep it pushing. G4 could have been the gaming version of Complex, but they failed. Mm-hmm. So now what you got in place of them, you got your IGNs, you got these other networks, you got all these people who have Reddit threads and all these networks of people being able to share information. They're doing that all online, man. No one's making curated gaming content anymore. And then G4 failed on that. They're doing all that on YouTube. Why am I going to watch you? Why am I going to pay attention to G4 and the other people y'all got on there, when really I'm just going to G4 to see one person, and whatever they're doing, I'm out. And that's what the creators, when they came back, they always had the upper hand. Did the Black Okage care about G4 and leaving G4 now?
Well, I would say
y'all paid me to get my audience.
I think he did care, but I think as soon as he got kicked off, he didn't care immediately. I think because when you go to work and then the next thing you know, you being laid off, it's not a good feeling. And he moved out to LA. I follow him, so I know he moved out to LA from Florida, and pretty much, setting his life. I think he came out to LA for the most part because of G4. So now you're being let go. So now it's like, yeah, fuck y'all, So
I figure it out, right?
So, and he's still, and he, like you said, he good. It ain't like he's gonna be losing any money, but
right. I wouldn't have did none of that, man.
I will say though, I think there was a big controversy a while ago. I don't know if y'all know, but one of the G4 hosts, her name was Frost, and she caused this big thing where she called out the G4 audience on their what's the word? Pretty much sexualizing or trying to sexualize her, or just make it seem as if she's not as good as Olivia Munn and Morgan Webb from the previous iteration of G4. And I believe she's a lesbian, and I guess G4 has always been a predominantly male audience, and of course, like people like Olivia Munn and Morgan Webb, I do think a lot of young guys were drawn to that. So now when you do this new iteration, you got these guys like, hey, this is mostly the older generation too, because you got the older people coming back and they're like, hey, what pretty women at? So so I think it's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of that, but I don't think she was wrong, but maybe I think a lot of people talk about they don't think that she should have called out the G4's audience like that, because again, their audience is majority men, young men. So you don't want to insult your audience. So maybe there could have been a better way of doing that.
Insulting the incels.
Pretty much. Pretty much. So, but yeah. But it's sad, and you know, G4 was a definitely a staple growing up for me, and probably y'all
For
too.
sure. Same for me
Amen.
too. That's where E3 was always broadcasted from.
And the Game Awards too. Yep. I think G4 produced the first Game Awards, if I can remember correctly.
Right. Now I'm like, y'all lost all of that, man. So I was like, bro, y'all some dodos, bro. When YouTube invented, man, G4, I don't know what they was thinking business plan wise, man, but they had the blueprint. I'm like, why did y'all step up into the space?
Marv said it. He hit the nail on the head, bro. All they had to do was move into digital. They kept trying to be on TV. All they had to do was slowly move into digital, and they would be the kings of that space. So
pretty much,
that's just bad. Your CEO, and that's just bad planning by your marketing, and it's just bad planning by the company in general. It's just you had a chance, you could have been the forefront, and then you tried to come back too late, and the space is full now. You know. So,
yeah. And where is it at? On YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, and it's creative friendly, and that's the thing that like is something I sometimes wonder, and maybe this may be me just thinking out loud, is that how G4 TV is and what they should have became. I think any creative, if they're smart, can figure out and do. And what like somebody needs to do is that somebody needs to make a network for gaming creatives, and they just produce content. I think that makes a lot of sense because it's more the space is going to grow. So you got people who stream, you got people who report on media, you have people who report on reviews, you have people who have these long scripted, you know, great YouTube videos like the Ackerman speaking on certain issues that they're passionate about, that they see on games that they're passionate about, right? You need all of these elements in order to make content. You have people like, you know, RDC, where he makes things that's like nerd culture, but he does his skits. He does like, you know, the Anime House, you know, series and things of that nature. Like that's where things are going to go. And I feel like it will behoove creatives who truly have these elements and all of this great talent to pull together, and they just make their own networks. Because I'm like, bruh, the thing that kills me that I don't understand is that every creative is trying to build their own audience, right? But the funny thing is that in which Twitch, in a sense, wants to do this, but they don't control communities on Twitch, which I don't like, is that in theory, what Twitch wants you to do is that, and how they market people, and Jay, you rock with Twitch, is that you will see similar content creators to yourself, whether it's in size or whether it's in category what you stream, right? That needs to be the same thing. If I'm on YouTube and we cracking and we the SHU Program, we stream, right? YouTube algorithmically is going to show whoever is viewing our content other creatives that make similar content. So why wouldn't those creators basically figure out a way to cross-collateralize audiences and everybody wins? Because all you need is the views.
True. That's true. And I do think there's gamer groups out there, but for example, like AMP, Agent Zero, Kai Sanat, who actually became the #1 Twitch guy, young black guy, Twitch guy on Twitch. He's black, and there's a big controversy over whether Twitch is not really promoting him because he's black, but he's the #1 guy on Twitch now and most subscribed. But they're part of a collective, but they're not. They only they do a bunch of skits and other content, and a lot of their content gaming wise is usually 2K. So if you had like a collective that actually similar to us, and I think we'll get to that point that, you know, and one day we're still growing our audience, and I think we're gonna have, you know, we're gonna shape our what we want to do soon. But I think if you have a gaming collective that comes together and focuses on kind of the IGN aspect, the you know, the gaming report, and you know, the G4 type aspect, it'll be great. But a lot of these gamers are, you know, they're usually just trying to keep the money for themselves, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. You know, grow your audience. You know, you got these young kids are becoming millionaires. Why spread the money, I guess. Right. So I feel you, but you know, maybe one day we'll see that.
Yes,
so we're gonna see, man.
Last thing, real quick, Jay. One more thing. got to bring it up because you were tripping on this earlier. Man, Deathloop is a 9 out of 10. It could be a 10 out of 10. I'm not going to the game yet.
God!
But this game is fire. I actually have the game on right now while we're doing the podcast. This game is fire.
We will give a valid
review. Marv knows. We played BioShock in college, and BioShock was a fire game. This game plays like BioShock, but with time loops and time travel. So
I'm gonna give it a shot.
You should give it a shot, Marv. It's the first hour you have to. It's kind of like a training to show you how to play the game. Once you get past the first hour, they put you into the story, and it gets going from there. So I advise anybody who hasn't played on Xbox yet, because it finally got released on Game Pass last week, to go ahead and give it a try, because it's just a good game, man. There's just a lot of stuff to do, a lot of ways to do things, and it's like a new take on an old idea that I really like. So, like I said, Jay, I think it's user error, bro. That's all it is, bro. I have literally been killing everybody I see with E. So, does it get harder? The engines get harder. They level up, I guess you get on certain areas. But, yeah, man, I'm enjoying it. So, yeah, I'll probably give it a full review once I'm done. But right now, I'm probably a fourth or third into the game right now.
I may come back to it at some point, man. I may come back to it, but I was truly getting frustrated. I would move the crosshair one way, and it would move a block. And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to inch it. Like, you're inching it over. It's moving. I'm moving it 1 inch, and it's moving it 3 inches. I mean, I went to the sensitivity settings. I was looking online to see if anybody else was having a problem. Maybe it is just user error, but it was got frustrated. And to the point I was like, I can't play if I can't aim. This is a first-person shooter. I can't aim. So I said, you know what? I was so frustrated. I said, uninstalled.
This dude said 0 out of 5. I almost threw my phone. I said, what the hell is he talking about? 0 out of 5. Yeah, bro. I'm not going to say it's like the best game that's come out, but it's just a really intriguing game. It took in elements from other series. It kind of feels like a slightly like Dishonored 2, also a little bit. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it, bro. The story's cool. 2 black leads. So I'm in. You already know how I feel about that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay.
But if y'all got anything else, I think that's it, man.
Yeah, I think that's a good stopping point, man.
Yep.
All right.
Very good.
Don't forget to always tune in, like, and subscribe all of our stuff, and just know we got plenty more going on. Go ahead and check out our previous episodes with me and Jay touched on G23. Give that a listen. And, yeah, we'll be here again giving y'all news soon. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thanks. Peace. For sure.
One more thing. Don't come on our YouTube channel, expecting us to, post illegal stuff. Like, some daddies like, hey, we talked about the G4 podcast. I mean, the GTA 6 podcast. We got the video version up on the YouTube now. Some dude gonna comment talk about, well, where the GTA 6 footage at? Hey, we ain't trying to get sued.
We ain't doing that, cuz.
Exactly.
We trying to stay low key. Word, bro. You know what's on. Hey, you know what's on the internet. You know where to find it, man. You just gotta go to them people, man. Leave us alone, bro. We ain't doing that.
Exactly.
There are plenty of content creators out there.
Being real narc like.
Yeah, bro. Chill out, man.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Feel free to follow us on all social media platforms. Catch us over on Spotify at the SHU Program and any other DSPs that you prefer to listen to podcasts on. Also follow us over on Instagram at the SHU Program. Follow us on Twitter at SHU_program. And also tap in with us, man. Ask any questions. Feel free to follow, DM us, reach out. If you like anything, follow us on YouTube. Please let us know, man. We really, really appreciate you all listening. We appreciate you all's feedback and tapping in with us content-wise, man. We would love to get to know you and figure out who's listening to us and what you all would like to see, and just for showing us consistent love week after week. Thank you all so much.